Straight ahead on CCX News, a nonprofit's van is ready to roll again after thieves left it high and dry. Then it's crunch time for organizations that rely on donations of cash and cars. But first, local lawmakers look ahead to a new legislative session.
The first order of business is the budget for the next 2 years.
And we'll be looking for as many places as we can to find common ground.
CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Taking care of unfinished business is a priority as local lawmakers get ready to start a new legislative session.
Republicans will take over control of the Senate when they convene on Tuesday. As Delane Cleveland reports, both parties are hoping to find common ground.
When we last saw the state legislature, they had just concluded a session without passing a transportation or bonding bill. A last-minute attempt to add an amendment that would fund the Southwest Light Rail line was the primary sticking point.
The whole bonding bill fell apart as a result of that, stopping much-needed transportation projects all over the state. It was a well-balanced bill until that moment.
Now, with a new session approaching and Republicans in control of both chambers, State Senator Warren Limmer says a bonding bill is likely on the table.
Oh, I'm sure there will be a bonding bill, although it usually doesn't come up in the first year of a biennium. That's in the second year. But we did not have one this last year.
Representative Melissa Hortman of Brooklyn Park agrees.
Minnesota needs a bonding bill in 2017, and in fact, the bonding bill that was put together last year really should be passed as soon as possible.
Hortman is the DFL's new House Minority Leader, and she's promoting a message of goodwill in the days leading up to the new session.
I want the Republicans who are in charge of the legislature to be successful over the next 2 years, because if they're successful, then Minnesotans will be successful.
As for what Republicans plan to focus on, Senator Limmer offered some insight.
First order of business is the budget for the next 2 years. And we'll be looking at that carefully to make sure that we get rid of waste and duplication in government. It's a constant battle.
Another battle the GOP plans to wage this year is against the rising costs of health care.
I think the whole system of MNsure has been haunted with failure ever since it was created.
Regardless of what the Republicans hope to do, Hortman will lead the charge to ensure that the party is held accountable.
And we'll be looking for as many places as we can to find common ground. And where we can't find common ground and we think Republicans are taking Minnesota in the wrong direction, we'll be absolutely clear about that.
Another issue looming over the legislature this year is the Federal Real ID Act, where Minnesota driver's licenses might not be enough to get travelers on an airplane unless the legislature votes to make enhancements. However, Senator Limmer said it's possible the Trump administration might extend the deadline as to when Minnesota will be required to comply with the Real ID Act. Mike and Alex?
All right, thank you, Delane. Legislative approval will be needed in order for a local hospital to expand.
Less than a year and a half after opening, Brooklyn Park's Prairie Care Hospital says it needs to make more room for patients. Prairie Care currently has 50 private inpatient rooms. The hospital offers mental health services for children and adolescents between the ages of 5 and 17. And now Prairie Care is proposing adding a second bed in 21 of its rooms to boost its capacity. According to the hospital CEO, the hospital is full much of the year, especially when school is in session. And the last thing they want to do is turn patients away during a crisis.
We want to make sure that if you live in the Twin Cities, if you live in Maple Grove, if you live in Brooklyn Park, and you need to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital, first of all, hopefully you'd get admitted to the hospital of your choosing. Second of all, you'd hope that that would be close to your home.
Prairie Care Hospital has made their request to the Department of Health. It will depend on approval by the legislature.
We know more today about the suspect involved in an encounter with a Brooklyn Center police officer this week. He was identified as 19-year-old Reese Joseph William Foy Finch. He was wanted on suspicion of failure to appear in court in Hubbard County. He faced charges of fleeing police on foot, possession of marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. A Minneapolis man shot this cell phone video of Foy Finch being arrested at Shingle Creek Crossing on Tuesday. Police are investigating because the officer can be heard telling the suspect not to move or he would shoot him in the head. The police chief issued a statement saying threatening language is never appropriate, and police say they are reviewing the incident.
Do Canines is back on the road after thieves stole wheels off a van. The incident happened on Christmas Eve, leaving the van up on jacks with no wheels. Thieves also damaged the steering wheel column and some other parts, but now it has wheels again and the van is drivable after Tires Plus of New Hope stepped in. They donated wheels, tires, and an oil change.
We are extremely grateful. The goal was to get the vehicle back in service as soon as possible. Having somebody call you up and say, we're just going to take care of it, and answer all your questions with kind of that same thing, don't worry about it, we're going to take care of it, made it really, really easy for us.
Do Canines is a nonprofit group that helps individuals with disabilities. If you have any information about the theft, you're urged to contact New Hope Police. December is a busy time of year for local nonprofits.
Not only do the holidays spark increased giving, but people rush to give before December 31st in order to claim a tax deduction. Reporter Shannon Slatton shows us how one Golden Valley nonprofit depends on the end-of-year rush.
At Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute, many people take steps toward recovery and a healthier life.
Feels great.
For the last 5 years, Rob Woodlick has been part of an innovative program for people living with paralysis.
So Courage Center helps a lot of people, local people in need with disabilities, kind of reach their goals, get better, improve their lives.
This program is called ABLE, and it's the only one like it in a 6-state area. It's one of many programs here that make a big difference for clients.
Programs like ABLE that are not fully funded by insurance rely upon fundraising dollars to happen. One way those dollars come in is through the Cars for Courage Kenny vehicle donation program.
It is crucial for programs like that, especially programs that are not reimbursed for by insurance.
Cars for Courage Kenny brings in more than $2 million every year.
We're just going to fill out a little bit of paperwork here.
A big chunk of those donations come in right before the end of the year. The Sarians donated their minivan.
It does have a lot of memories, so it's not the car, but it's the memories, yeah.
And at 10 a.m. Thursday morning, they were the 5th donation of the day.
Easy. So we just called up and came down and parked the car and came up and signed some papers, and that was it.
They like the tax deduction that came with the donation, but they also like the cause.
They're right here in our community and serve our neighbors as well as greater Minnesota.
As their car donation will help more people take steps toward healthier living. In Golden Valley, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
To make a donation, you must provide the title as well as the lien release if there was ever a loan on the vehicle. Cars for Courage Kenny will also be open on Saturday to get as many last-minute donations as possible.
The Salvation Army is in need of some last-minute donations, too. The nonprofit organization has until December 31st to raise $2.5 million. Officials worry that they may have to make cuts, including some in Brooklyn Park, if they don't meet their goal of $11.6 million. Each year, the Salvation Army serves more than 187,000 people in the metro.
At the Noble Salvation Army unit, they are running on a skeleton crew because of finances. They've already had to cut back a little bit, and now is not reaching our goal. Most likely they're going to have to cut back a little bit further, and so after school programs are not going to be able to start back up. Youth programs are going to have to be evaluated, as well as the social service programs that take place just in that location.
Our recent extreme cold weather and a shortage of bell ringers is to blame for the low donations. You can donate online or mail in a check, and we have that information on our website at ccxmedia.org. Coming up, a look back at 2016 and several heroes who stepped up when needed.
And later in sports, highlights from one of the top boys' holiday hockey tournaments, the Schwan Cup.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast. Welcome back, and now a look back at one of the stories that made headlines in 2016.
And there are those among us who rush toward trouble to save someone when everyone else is fleeing the other direction. And we have two such stories from 2016.
The chaotic nature of this call was one of the most chaotic scenes I've ever been on.
On October 11th, dozens of police and firefighters converged on Golden Valley Road after a car crashed into Bassett Creek and burst into flames.
When I arrived, I could see flames coming out of the creek. I couldn't see the vehicle. It was too far down the embankment.
As they worked to put out the flames, first responders found the driver near the creek and could hear someone banging from inside the car.
Officer Petrolke took his asp and hit the back window, and that is when the back window broke and was able to get to the child.
In all, it took just 10 minutes to save a life.
This will absolutely stick with me the rest of my life.
In April, Osseo police followed an erratic driver who was swerving from one side of the road to the other, at one point forcing cars into the ditch and sideswiping a bus. Now look at the pickup truck passing on the right. That's Rick Pocklington, who saw what was happening and wanted to create a roadblock. It worked, and you can see the tires still spinning after the car rear-ended Pocklington.
He did it, out of public safety in mind. In speaking to him about it, he laughed. He said, "I just wanted this to end. I could see this car head on with these other people in the other lane, and he was scared for everyone's safety, so he put his own in danger."
Pocklington received a Citizens Award from the Osseo City Council. And it turned out that driver had suffered a diabetic reaction and was unable to stop his truck. And we hope you can join us this weekend when we take a look back at more stories from the year past. That starts Saturday right here on CCX News. Coming up in sports, some great basketball action.
It's been an exciting week as the Pirate girls host a holiday tournament. John Jacobson has that and much more coming up next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Schwann Cup Boys Hockey Tournament faced off Thursday. The Gold Division features 8 very good teams. Wayzata meeting St. Thomas Academy Thursday afternoon. The Cadets' Robbie Stucker connects on the long home run pass to Ray Christie for the breakaway. He scores to give St. Thomas Academy a 1-0 lead. Later in the first, goalie Sawyer Anderson dives to deflect the pass, but Willie Ryan follows up to score, and the Cadets lead 2-0 after a period. On a shorthanded rush, Colin Schmidt to Griffin Ness, but he is robbed by Cadets goalie Vinny Capeza. That's worth another look. A great save by Capeza. Wayzata does strike as freshman Ryan Mulrennan makes a nice move and buries the puck. That's as close as Wayzata gets, though. St. Thomas adds an empty netter to win it 3-1. The Benilde St. Margaret's boys hockey team is once again hosting a holiday tournament. The Red Knights taking on Elk River in first-round play. Benilde buzzes the net in the early going. Nick Sims mishits it, but slides right to Peter Moran, who's there for the goal. The Red Knights take a 1-0 lead. And they look for more on a 2-on-1, but Elk River goalie Ben Myers comes up with a big save, keeping it a 1-goal game. Late in the first period, Elk River gets one. Connor Bazal threads it to Tommy Lobbs. He takes his time and flicks it in, and it's 1-1 after a period. Elk River takes the lead in the second. Max McCallis there to sweep the rebound home from the slot for a 2-1 advantage. Elk River adds another to lead 3-1 through 2 periods of play. Down 4-1, Benilde's Ian Bear scores on the breakaway to give the Red Knights some momentum. They pull it in 4-2, and then later 4-3. But McCallis pulls the puck through traffic, gets to that and scores. The Elks score the last 3 goals, and they win it 7-3. Wayzata and Park Center are both off to strong starts this season in boys basketball. The 2 unbeaten teams met at the University of St. Thomas holiday tournament. We pick it up in the second half. Gavin Baumgartner hits a 3, putting the Trojans up 32-25. Then a 3 from the corner by Luke Paulson makes it 42-30 Trojans. The Pirates rally. Emmanuel Tomba with a nice steal. He takes it all the way to cut Wayzata's lead to 46-44. Jerry's Cook hits the jump shot for Park Center, and now it's 46-all. But Wayzata then goes on an 8-0 run. Nice move by Baumgartner. He scores for a 54-46 Trojans lead. PC rallies one more time. Kahari Broadway driving to the basket and foul. He misses the free throw, leaving Wayzata with a 56-54 lead with under 20 seconds to play. Pirates have a chance to tie it, but Xavier Bonner's shot is off, and Jacob Benenga grabs the rebound and is fouled. He hits 2 free throws to seal it. Trojans hand Park Center its first loss, 59-54. Park Center's girls basketball team is hosting a 6-team 2-day holiday tournament. The 9th-ranked Pirates facing number 4 Elk River Wednesday night. It's all Elks early. Star Gabby Hawk gets through the lane to score. She nets the first 9 points of the game. Park Center responds. Danielle Shaw with a hesitation dribble and layup. Pirates tie at 9-9, 17 for Shaw on the night. Summer Blakemore with a step-back 3, one of her 3 from beyond the arc in the first half. Park Center's up 36-33 at halftime. The second half is back and forth. Nice passing for Elk River. Hawk drives baseline for 2 over 27 points. Elk River leads by 4. Park Center surges into the lead. Ann Simonette buries a long 3. She scores 13. Simonette misses on the drive, but Michaela Hayes rebounds and scores, plus a foul. And the Pirates lead by as many as 5. But Elk River comes back. Sydney Wentland hits a 3 to tie the game at 67-all. She nets 18 in the game, and Kelsey Cox flashes open to score. Elk River grabs the lead for good. They had free throws to win it. 71-66. Also in the Park Center tournament, Champlin Park facing unbeaten Orono. Erica Hicks with a nice stride with a basket for 2 plus a foul. Rebels lead 8-0 less than 90 seconds into the game. Hicks buries a corner 3 to put the Rebels up 13-4. She had 22 first-half points for the Rebels. Corey Andrew headed to Yale next year for basketball, tries to keep the Spartans in the game. Hitting a 3 there, but they never seriously threatened Champlin Park. Allison Garrett's great bounce pass there to Grace Warwa for 2. Champlin Park up by 12. And then a great hoop. Amanda Pollard to Garrett's, quickly to Hicks on the backdoor play. Hicks scored a career-high 32 points. Champlin Park up 16 at the half. Garrett scores 2 more in the second half. Champlin Park wins 65-49. Rebels also beat Rogers today, and they are now 7-3. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. We will be right back.
And here's some of what's coming up Friday on CCX News. We'll take a look at some of the new laws that take effect next year, and one includes how we choose candidates for president. We'll hear from a local lawmaker who is behind the change. And if you're looking for a family-friendly way to celebrate the new year, we have some ideas in our Friday weekend showcase. And in sports, a busy week of holiday tournaments in prep hockey and basketball, and we will have the highlights. All this and more coming up Friday on CCX News starting at 4 o'clock. And that'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Friday, starting at 4 o'clock.